Up to this point, we've designed a very strong security and compliance posture. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Controls that cannot be demonstrated do not exist in the eyes of customers, regulators, or even the courts. So this episode is about the difference between having controls and being able to prove you had them when it mattered. In quantum technology, where customers cannot independently verify correctness, proof it becomes the product. In most IT systems, customers can test availability. They can measure latency. They can verify correctness independently. But quantum customers cannot do that. They must trust your hardware, your models, your decoders, your control loops. That trust is fragile. It is earned not just through promises, but through evidence. I'm Nupur Mitra, a legal and governance risk translator for AI systems. On my channel, The AI Law, I unpack how AI security flaws, governance failures, and model behavior, they all turn into real legal exposure, rights issues, and the future of jurisprudence. The goal of customer assurance and auditability is to ensure that every critical action is traceable, every system decision is explainable, every incident is reconstructible, and every control can be demonstrated on demand. This is not about paperwork, it's about operational truth. Control 1. For AI for quantum systems, provenance is everything. You must be able to answer which data trained this model, which model influenced this control decision, which firmware version ran this job, which configuration produced this result. Lineage must span data, model, deployment, execution, output. Without lineage, you cannot investigate or defend outcomes. Control 2. Audit logs should be tamper evident, time synchronized, and centrally accessible. So they must cover data access, model deployment, firmware updates, job execution, user actions. Logs are not just for security, they are legal evidence. Control 3. Customers will ask, how do you isolate tenants? How do you prevent model tampering? How do you ensure correctness? How do you handle export compliance? So you should have clear security documentation, architectural diagrams, and written assurances that match reality. Overpromising is dangerous and under-explaining is suspicious. Control 4. Your incident response plan, it must account for silent correctness and degradation, ML model compromise, firmware integrity issues, export compliance incidents. This is not the same as a traditional data breach. Plans must answer, how do we detect? How do we stop harm? How do we notify customers? And how do we preserve evidence? Unprepared responses often cause more damage than the incident itself. Control 5. As the industry matures, customers will increasingly expect SOC-style reports, third-party security reviews, or formal attestations. Preparing for this early, it reduces future friction, surfaces gaps proactively, and builds market credibility, which you want. So you don't need perfection, but you need seriousness. Control 6. Auditability, it also depends on people. Every control must have an owner, a review cadence, and escalation paths. Everyone owns security often means no one does. So clear ownership makes controls real. Many teams fear that logs and audits, they create liability. But in reality, lack of evidence That is far more damaging. Transparency enables faster resolution, and good records, they demonstrate diligence. Courts and regulators, they punish negligence, not good faith efforts. So, auditability helps you detect reverse engineering attempts, identify model substitution, and prove decoder integrity, and also demonstrate export compliance and respond credibly to customer concerns. So it is the connective tissue across all domains. In quantum markets, technical differentiation is hard to evaluate. Security maturity is not. Vendors who can say, here's how we know our system behaved correctly, will win trust, especially with enterprise and government customers. Retrofitting auditability is expensive and painful. Designing for it early is cheaper, cleaner, and less disruptive. Auditability should be a design requirement, not a retrofit. So now we've walked through the threat landscape, 7 concrete control domains, and how to prove those controls matter. The final episode next, it will bring this together into an actionable summary and a concrete next steps plan. And that's where we'll conclude. If you work on AI, security, or law and want to understand what actually gets you sued and what should change, you are in the right place. Subscribe to my channel. This channel analyzes AI security legal risk, AI liability in practice, and AI governance compliance risk. We look at how AI system design, architecture, and runtime controls, they create legal risk in AI systems, AI model vulnerabilities and compliance failures, AI runtime controls and legal exposure, and how AI tooling risk translates to law for developers, security engineers, and governance teams.